is it. But no sign of the professor.
I hope he's here and that he doesn't mind us disturbing him. He is a senior necromancer. I don't... Oh!
What a marvelous surprise! Any trouble with the lift? Our last guests were stuck for hours. Poor souls. Oh. Professor Emmerich Volkaren.
Hello, Professor. We've never met. Well, in person, but I've been writing to you.
Belara, my dear girl. What a pleasure. Surely you didn't come all this way just to see me.
Actually, we did. You see, we need a Fade expert.
I'm Rook.
Charmed.
I didn't expect such a warm welcome. Considering.
Please, don't be put off. The workforce is perfectly harmless. I'd be pleased to continue our conversation after I tend to some small business here. I must investigate. Would you two mind accompanying me further into the shrouded halls?
Toward that screaming.
Something's gone awry in this part of the necropolis, Rook. The dead stir more easily than they should.
Movement up ahead.
Strange. These halls should be under the protection of the bell.
Is that a despair demon?
Fascinating, isn't it? They shouldn't be able to breach the shrouded halls at all.
Take your word for it.
Careful, Rook! It signaled you out!
What? Where'd everyone go?
It's vital we discover why that spirit manifested here.
Lead the way, Professor.
Someone's barred the door and chained the sunken star.
There's undead here.
We may need to defend ourselves depending on their condition.
Haven't fought undead in a while.
There's no reaching these. They're mindless.
Aren't you a necromancer?
I'm afraid sometimes the weaker dead work themselves into mindless. I must free that bell.
Need some help?
Thank you. The star, the bell, can banish these despair spirits if we unchain it.
We'll need a wisp to unseal the doors leading out. Could you please find one and bring it here?
Okay. How?
Give your greetings, and the wisp will follow.
Hello.
Wisps are the simplest of spirits, but quite helpful. Bring the wisp here, and we can unseal the doors.
Doors open. Where to now?
This should lead us to the upper chambers, where we can free the bell. There's someone I'd like to consult with on the way.
So, Professor,
Just Emery, please.
you weren't that surprised we need a Fade expert.
The spirits talk. Even the simplest have been clamoring about chaos in the Fade. Someone coming to consult wasn't if so much as a whim. Being fired upon!
We're in the clear.
All that ice. More magic?
Echoes of the despair spirits, misery devouring itself. We should keep our distance. If provoked, these manifestations will shatter.
This is locked too. I didn't see any wisps around.
Then I shall call for aid.
Close.
They've answered. We'll need to guide the wisps. It's just arrived to the door. The sun has struck a blow. There's a fight ahead.
We need your help, team. End it now.
Those wisps really came just because you asked.
They care for us, Rook. Our ever-loyal friends amongst the dead. Strange. This door shouldn't be here.
Shouldn't it?
The necropolis rearranges itself every so often.
Here's our second wisp.
Calmest spirit I've ever seen.
The peace of the necropolis is a balm to many of its inhabitants.
Must be nice.
Ah, yes. I've noticed you've come to me.
There's the last wisp.
Good. Let's return to the door. Ever drawing these spirits here?
You think a person's behind all the despair?
Oh yes. Mortals are their prime attraction.
Trouble.
To battle then!
Stay covered.
Not half bad! An attack from afar!
Nice work.
Well aimed!
anyone still alive?
How do we get rid of all these despair demons?
Their source is near the bell you saw earlier. Ringing it will banish them, but we must find who lured them there in the first place. Tell me, Rook, where are you from?
I trained with the wardens in the Anderfels.
Home to the fortress of Weishaupt. I've heard stories. You must tell me about your journeys once we're above ground. Here we are. This is where we'll learn who summoned these despair spirits.
But how?
You must open yourself to possibilities while in the necropolis. Would you mind lighting those braziers, Rook? This should unseal our final pass to the bell. It's best we unchain it quickly.
Then what?
The sunken star will drive away despair. Any malicious spirit that hears the tolling of the bell will be banished to the Fade.
Any malicious spirit?
Unattached ones. Your own companion will be safe.
Ah.
Excellent. Approach the body and we'll begin. By seal and flame, who brought despair in our midst? Despair? Who brought it here?
The Venatori. Of course. This way, please.
What did you just do?
The colloquial term is corpse whispering, a gift that manifested with my magic.
Talking to corpses with magic.
Honestly, I've no idea how the other Watchers navigate the necropolis without it.
Shh. I think I hear someone.
This map is useless. We wasted 3 slaves in those traps. If that Hand of Glory burns down...
So don't dawdle!
We found those Venatori.
They have no place in these halls.
Now's your chance!
Venatori after? Gold? Artifacts?
Raw magic. Their first envoys were obsessed with gathering power for some new master.
Ah, I'll fill you in on them later. Well, down one more despair demon. That's the last of them.
I see someone by the crates.
I don't think they're Venatori. This looks interesting.
A spirit labyrinth? I didn't know they'd learned to make miniature ones in...
Hello. The Venatori bring you here.
They said I'd spilled the wine too many times. That I'd be a better sacrifice than slave.
You are in Navarra, sir. There are no slaves on our soil. Please remember, after we've seen to the rest of the Venatori, I'll send for someone to escort you above.
Oh, all right.
Those Venatori dragged that man down here just to die.
The Watchers will shelter him. We'll inquire if he has any family in Minrathous. As for the Venatori, what remains of them will be put to work. The Sunken Star can help us if we break the Venatori's chains.
Right.
return to the lower level to ring the bell. Be ready. The ritual to wake the bell will draw Despair's attention.
And any more Venatori?
I'll need you to keep them occupied while I work.
There's the Venatori. How are we doing, Emmerich?
The bell is slowly wakening, but we must fight a little longer. Bring them down!
Now what?
Now, the grand necropolis shows itself!
Pretty impressive.
Thank you. But come, let's ensure these cultists didn't leave anything dangerous behind. I'll ask our attendants to gather their bodies later.
And this is a severed hand.
It can't be. A hand of glory? The Venatori should never have this. I must find out where it came from. Let me know when you'd like to return to the chambers above.
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
You can tell me why you've sought out a Fade expert on the way?
I know it's a lot, but I swear we've seen the blighted elven gods ourselves.
It would explain recent oniric disruptions.
At the least, the implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
Well, hi. And... thanks?
You spoke of danger to the Fade.
The elven gods plan to tear it wide open to get to the blight. And they've already messed with it. Demons, tears in reality. Our team needs a Fade expert.
Many Watchers never depart Navara. But with events so dire...
I'd be delighted to assist.
It has been many years since you left us.
Well, yes, but elven gods, ancient magics. I couldn't bear miss this. Besides, I've spent my life exploring the Fade and speaking to spirits. If Rook needs an expert, none are better qualified than I.
You're good in a fight. We went through a lot of demons.
I've faced worse in the necropolis.
Welcome aboard.
Wonderful! I'll gather my things. Come, Manfred.
The Grand Necropolis was at peace again, and Emmerich was off to a new adventure. But in Navara, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person. Emmerich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the gloaming lantern.
What the Venatori ultimately intended with their incursions into the necropolis worries me. Whether or not it was directed by the gods, the timing serves them well. Chaos, I fear, is their ally.
With this, Demeter's Crossing and the Blighted Dragons, and everything else we're all dealing with, feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
Didn't take the gods long to attract support from all the worst people in Thedas.
They're offering power to anyone who wants it. The Venatori and Antum won't question what it will cost.
So how do we fight back then?
We don't have an army, but we do have allies. Like the Veil Jumpers.
After Demeter's Crossing, it's personal for them.
The Crows, particularly after we helped save their city.
Dea and Viago know what is owed. They will make good on that debt.
Also, Lady Morrigan requested a meeting at the Cobbled Swan in Minrathous.
Could she have found some trace of the gods?
Probably. Morrigan doesn't visit crowded taverns for fun.
I also heard from Grey Wardens out in the Hossberg wetlands, Antoine and Evka. Something strange is happening with the Blight there. I bet it involves the gods.
The First Warden hasn't been thrilled with how I'm carrying out my duties.
So are you a new one, huh?
If we go to the wetlands, I'm hoping the First Warden's safely over in Weishaupt.
Couldn't say. Still, you can't get in any more trouble with the Order than you already are.
Yeah. Any details on the Blight in the wetlands?
No. But you know how Antoine's normally got nice, neat handwriting?
Yes.
Could barely read his note. He's either excited, scared, or both.
Gillenane has laid low since we hurt her dragon, but the Blight spreads rot wherever the gods go.
And no one's better at tracking Blight than Wardens.
Morrigan and those Wardens feel like our best leads on finding the gods.
Are they really gods? Or just ancient mages? It's not clear.
They're gods.
Or the closest damn thing to them.
Nev, you're back.
Yeah, I am.
Good to have you back. This is Professor Emmerich Volkarin, our Fade expert, and Tash, our Dragon Hunter. They joined while you were away.
Hey.
Charmed.
Right. Not everyone is met.
So you're a dragon hunter? Mirathis could have used you.
What's going on?
Back home, what isn't? Look, you made an impossible call without enough information. I get it. It's the corner the gods put us in. It just might take time to shake off.
You are back though, right?
Yeah, Belle. I'm back.
Good to have you back. Whatever the circumstances. Everyone needs to be part of this. That's the only way we'll win.
After what happened to Minrathis, I've got even more reason to go after the gods. If anyone's got a shot at this, it's the people here. I'm still on the job. Count on it.
Great. Let's follow up on some leads.
I'll let Lady Morrigan know we're ready to meet.
I'll send word to Antoine and Evka. They're holed up in a town called Lavendale.
Everyone else should rest up. Be ready to move when I call.
Never easy, is it, kid?
What do you mean?
Making the big choices, then living with the consequences.
If I don't make the tough decisions, no one else will. So I live with the consequences.
And you don't blame anyone else for them. That's why I recruited you. Anyway, you've got a meeting with Morrigan to attend, and dealing with whatever the Wardens found. All this chatting is taking it out of me. Think I'll rest for a bit. Good work, Rook. You'll find your way through this. I know it.
Dweller, a helper waits within. Another between the facing gods.
A third edition of the Unnameable Elements? I didn't even know it had editions.
Oh, it's much improved with the index. Please, borrow it if you'd like.
I'd love to. Oh, Rook, you probably wanted to say hi. Thanks, Professor.
You look moved in?
Just a few essentials. Manfred was a great help with the boxes. What a fascinating place this lighthouse is. What do you make of it?
It's great. Big, mysterious, lots of art, everyone's got their own room.
It'd be easy to fall in love with such a place.
I think Bellara has.
She's been quite welcoming. However,
I noticed a few of the others taken aback by Manfred, and I overheard remarks about my skulls. My necromancy won't cause any undue worry, will it?
We're still getting used to one another.
True, and yet...
Give it time. We'll settle in.
Please excuse me. Manfred and I should finish our inventory. Thank you for stopping by. By the way, Rook, before I left, Myrna and Vorgoth asked if we could assist with an outbreak of hauntings across Thedas. They also mentioned displaced wisps in the necropolis. I'm not sure what's frightened them, but it bears investigation.
Hauntings and scared wisps? Let's look into it.
Thank you. We'll depart for the necropolis whenever you're ready.
Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter? Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thetis from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Why isn't she here? We could use a hand.
Charter entrusted the search for Solus to Varric, to us. The world's large and she's got many things to deal with.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
So, tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
You help people. That's not small.
It sure felt like it sometimes. I'd sit with Rector and Faulkner and we'd watch the important people with their important business rushing by.
Rector? Faulkner?
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
I have so many questions.
Believe me, I did too.
Cole didn't elaborate.
I think I prefer the mystery, don't you?
Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if you guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
And the Inquisitor's advisors, what about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Liliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
Oh, she loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So, did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
He might be lonely, but I doubt he cares. He's single-minded. Nothing else matters besides his crusade.
Because it's the only thing he's had. My ma used to say, a caged dog forgets there's grass outside. Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
The spirits lament, dweller. The blight spreads here. Seek its roots.
Taking a walk?
Look, I'm back and I'm on the job. That's all I want to say about it right now.
Rook, I was thinking of taking Hassan for a walk. He could use the exercise. Chance to stretch his wings. Thought you'd like to come along.